Allen Ruppersberg is an American conceptual artist who intended on being an illustrator. However, he started exploring the integration of image and language as filtered through mass culture along with artists such as John Baldessari, Ed Ruscha, William Lovett, and others. His career has focused on blending fact with fiction and prompting the viewer to both read and look in order to analyze his work of text, narrative photography, assemblages, and participatory projects. In his participatory project, Al's Cafe, 1969, Ruppersberg designed a cafe in Los Angeles that he assembled out of things he found or rented in order to create what appeared to be a diner. Looking at the diner, one would think it was just a normal eatery complete with chairs, tables, random memorabilia, and other common items found in a diner. However, upon closer examination, diners find themselves immersed in a world where their idea of normal is challenged by a blending of fantasy and real life. The diner opened once a week, and guests were served meals prepared by the artist himself. In this piece, the diners became participants in the plot simply by being there. The menu included items like 3 rocks with crumpled wad or simulated burned pine needles a la Johnny Cash served with a live fern. Each meal constructed by Ruppersberg was inedible and added yet another layer to his assemblage. Eventually, the piece was shut down by local police. This piece reinforces one of the key elements of Ruppersberg's work that solicited the viewer to become involved as a social participant. By encouraging guests to partake in the performance, Ruppersberg set the conditions for rewriting the way a physical place was read and perceived. Another work of Ruppersberg's that invited viewers to analyze beyond the surface visuals is his piece titled Rauschenberg from 2014. This piece was done as an homage to one of the artists from which he drew inspiration, Robert Rauschenberg. This piece was done as part of a obituary series in which he transformed the full written obituary of Robert Rauschenberg from the New York Times into a work of art using letters and numbers from old bingo anagram games. When you first encounter this installation, you are met with the dark presence that this large piece presents against the stark white wall behind it. The 11 4 feet by 4 foot tiles that comprise this piece are mostly adorned with cool colors speckled throughout the contrast of red tiles. When you step back and look at the work, it would appear as if there are several dark void spaces. However, upon closer examination, nearly every single square of this work houses a letter or number tile that is part of the obituary. This work of art appears very busy, almost like you are looking at a glimpse of the complex world of computer programming. Yet, once you immerse yourself into blending the visual with what is written, the viewer is transcended into a realm of calm and somberness as you take in the remembrance of a great artist. Ruppersberg uses the power of contrast colors mixed with language to truly grab the viewer's attention and elicits them into reading the entire piece to make sense of what is happening beneath the surface. This piece, much like Al's Cafe, helps to flip the script on what is perceived upon first glance versus what is actually taking place once one immerses themselves beyond the surface. In 2003, Ruppersberg completed part 1 of his work titled The Singing Posters, Allen Ginsberg's How, which was a tribute to the celebrated beat poet Allen Ginsberg of the 50s beat generation. Ginsberg's poem had been banned for being obscene when it was first published in 1956. Ruppersberg sought a way to preserve this poem for generations to come, and did so in a way that combined the literal and phonetic transcription of the poem across hundreds of Dayglow posters. When viewers first experience the singing posters, they are taken back in time to the era of Dayglow, complete with neon colors and block text. Over 200 advertising posters make up this piece, which covers the gallery walls from floor to ceiling. Upon first glance, this massive installation may be overwhelming, as it is hard to discern where the poem begins or what you are even looking at. However, in keeping with this theme of wanting his viewers to immerse themselves beyond the surface visuals, once viewers take it all in, they are able to find themselves absorbed into the words of Ginsberg's famous poem. Ruppersberg included both the normal and phonetic versions of this poem to impart another layer of deeper thinking amongst those who view it. This work is another great example of how Ruppersberg was able to blend fact with fiction and force his viewers to take in his art at levels beyond the first visual experience. He also used this piece to help portray the social and political climate of the late 1950s and 60s. Ruppersberg is a great conceptual artist interested in cultural narratives as well as the relationship between author and reader, and uses his art to bring his exploration to a wider audience. Many of his works beyond these three also help to explore this relationship as well as bring the viewer into the art experience itself to help transform the way that art is thought about and made. To view more of his work and experience this transformational blending of art and language, you can visit the Museum of Contemporary Art in Los Angeles to see more of his works on display as part of their permanent collection.